We now know our Champions League semi-finalists for 2026. Who is it? And more importantly, who do we think is going to go through to the final? So we'll start with Tuesday night's action. And we'll start with Liverpool. They, of course, faced PSG in the second leg at Anfield, having to turn over a 2-goal deficit. And it was just a bit too much for them. It's the same old story with Liverpool. I mean, they huffed and they puffed. They gave a bit more in the final third, but unfortunately it's the same old story, that toothless in attack and just vulnerable defensively. They ended up losing the game 2-0. Dembele with a lovely finish on the edge of the area in the second half. And then later on, when Liverpool really were chasing the game, Dembele hit him again on the counter, exploited that space that Liverpool were leaving him behind. This really could be the end for Slot. I think they'll see out the end of the season for him. And then maybe the start of next season. Well, I personally think the start of next season he won't be in charge. It's funny how years gone by when Liverpool, particularly in the Champions League, when we've had to overturn deficits, you've always felt that Anfield night, the special nights under the lights, that we could beat anyone and overturn any kind of deficit. And I think that all came from that night in Istanbul, and of course in more recent times having to overturn that deficit against Barcelona in 2019. But unfortunately, at no point in watching that game did I think that we were gonna win, and it's a shame that it's got to that point in the season. Full congratulations to PSG though. It was a very, very professional performance to come to Anfield despite playing against a poor Liverpool side, and to come away with a 2-0 victory and to progress to the next round of the Champions League into the semi-finals again. They really are showing that they are a top side, having spent so many years struggling with identity and dealing with bigger egos, bigger characters, shall we say. The second game on Tuesday night saw Atletico hosting Barcelona at the Wanda Metropolitana. They went into that game with a 2-0 aggregate lead from the Nou Camp. And Barcelona started really fast, really quick out the blocks. Yamal straight away within the first few minutes, a few seconds even, creating a chance and then eventually scoring one moments later, putting Barca 1-0 up and blowing this tie wide open. Ferran Torres then made it 2-0 not long after, of course making it 2-2 on aggregate. But it wasn't long after that Ademola Lookman made it 2-1 to Atletico. Into the second half, it was more of the same. Barcelona having more of the ball, having more territory, creating, not so much creating chances, but creating opportunities for themselves to get themselves back level again in the tie. Unfortunately for them, it was Alex Garcia who was sent off for a challenge on Alexander Sorloth as he went through on goal. Now this one is kind of up for debate. Koundé was running across, he was coming across, he was covering. I personally think he would have got there. The referee looked at it on VAR, didn't think so, and sent Eric Garcia off. Despite this, Barcelona really did push and trying to get another goal, but unfortunately for them, it did not come, and Atletico progressed into the next round. Disappointing from a personal perspective. I really like to see top players into the latter stages of the competition. Not saying that Atletico don't have any top players, but for me, Yamal and Pedri, not seeing them in the semi-final into the final of the Champions League is a bit disappointing. They really are two of the players that I personally enjoy watching, and I'm a bit disappointed to not see them into the next round. As for Wednesday night, Bayern hosted Real Madrid in what was one of the great Champions League games. They always seem to conjure them up every once in a while, these two. It really was a back and forth battle between two top sides with a lot of attacking quality on the pitch. As for the goals, Arda Güler scored a sensational lob after a mistake from Manuel Neuer. The Bayern goalkeeper played a stray pass which Arda Güler picked up and hit the ball first time just inside the opposition half, lobbing the ball over a scrambling Manuel Neuer. This was only in the first minute. Pavlovic then equalised with a header from a corner in the 6th. Arda Güler then stepped up again to take a free kick in the 29th minute. Now at first, and in commentary, they were saying, oh, great free kick, that was in the postage stamp, unsavable. But I think once you watch it and you analyse, you realise that Manuel Neuer maybe could have done a little bit better. Maybe didn't move his feet quick enough onto the next goal, and it was Harry Kane for Bayern Munich who levelled it up. And that was his 50th goal of the season for Bayern. Sensational numbers he's racking up this year, making it 2-2 if you lose and count. Just before half-time, Real Madrid were at it again, creating chances mainly on the break, and this time it was a lovely work move finished off by Kylian Mbappe, making it 3-2 to Real Madrid, and this is all in the first half. In the second, we saw more of the same, more Bayern dominance, more chances getting created, but they just couldn't put the ball in the net. It was only when Eduardo Camavinga came on and was shortly sent off that the game changed. He received 2 bookings in quick succession, and the second one, I thought it was harsh. He didn't really kick the ball away. He just sort of had it and just sort of almost like dribble kicked it. It was an odd sending off. I don't think the referee realised that he had already booked him, and then when he thought, oh, I've booked this guy twice now, I have to send him off, he's going to look back on that and think, maybe that second yellow is a little bit harsh. It was only 3 minutes later that Luis Diaz received the ball on the left-hand side of the penalty box, cut in and smashed the ball past the goalkeeper via a little bit of a deflection, but it was a lovely finish from the Colombian. And then on to star of the show, star of the tie, and quickly becoming star of the season, Michael Elise, who finished off what was a wonderful game with a trademark finish, receiving the ball opposite to Diaz on the other side of the penalty area, on the right-hand side, cutting in on his left and curling one past the goalkeeper. Beautiful goal. And a great advert for the Champions League itself. So as for the final game, Arsenal drew 0-0 at home to Sporting Lisbon. I did say that they could have taken a draw away at Lisbon and beaten them at the Emirates. I did think they would beat them resoundingly in this game. But they've done the job, and they'll be over the moon with another Champions League semi-final. It wasn't the best game, only 1 shot on target from both teams, but I think that's just how Arsenal's season's going at the minute. They just seem to be grinding out results and taking what they can get. As for the draw itself, Atletico will face Arsenal. I think this is a clash of 2 teams with two similar sides. I personally think Arsenal would have preferred Barcelona. I think Barcelona would have found it tougher to deal with Arsenal's physicality, and now they have to deal with Atletico's pace and power. This will be an interesting one. I can see both sides winning this. It's really that open, but I'm going to say Arsenal edge it, and we're going to see them through to another Champions League final, which they haven't been to since 2006. As for the other tie, Bayern versus PSG, it's a bit disappointing. This maybe could have been the final. It was almost the showpiece. They certainly are the 2 best footballing sides left in the competition. And like the other semi-final between Atletico and Arsenal, I can see this one going either way, and it wouldn't surprise me if whichever side came out and won this one. I'm going to tip Bayern. I just really fancy them at the minute. Their attacking players, Kane, Elise, Diaz, they've got Gnabry, Musiala to come off the bench as well. They've got a lot of attacking threat there. The only thing I'd be worried about it as a Bayern fan is maybe the fullbacks. They're very, very forward-thinking. They get in areas of the pitch where they're leaving a lot of space in behind them. And I think up against Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, they could possibly, maybe, become a bit unstuck with these guys, because they will exploit you and will exploit that space in behind the fullbacks. But overall, I am excited for the semi-finals. Like I just said, I can see any of those teams progressing through to the final.